really has made me where 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm waking up with somebody stabbing me.
Thanks, Senator Hassan. Senator Hawley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for convening this hearing. Thanks to each of the witnesses for being here. Mr. Salapur, let me just start with you. I just want to back up and make sure I understand your testimony because it seems extraordinary to me. And I'm reading the letters that you've submitted from your attorney when you first contacted the FAA, when you contacted the committee. So my understanding is you worked on both the 787 and the 7777, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you identified major safety concerns with both of these lines,
Yes, sir.
And you identified these to your superiors.
Yes, sir. I have written many memos time after time that we can provide.
Over a period of years, I think.
Yeah, this is like 3 years. For the 787, it's been 3 years of effort.
And so your concerns, who knew about your concerns? How far up the chain do you know that they went?
I have gone as high as Mark Stockton and Lisa Fall, who's the vice president.
The vice president of the company?
Yes.
So they were and are aware of these major safety concerns. And this is what you do for a living. I mean, you're an engineer, right? I mean,
I'm an engineer. I went to quality about 3-4 years ago. And when you put your quality hat, we are the eyes and ears of the public for the safety of the airplane. That's how I feel about our job. And so I have, when I see concerning information or concerning, let's say, production issues, then it is our responsibility to make sure that, if we are causing the airplane to have increased risk factors, our job is to eliminate those risk factors.
This is a critical moment. What the engineer is explaining here isn't a single defect. It's a pattern. Aircraft don't fail all at once. They fail over time, as small manufacturing shortcuts compound into serious structural risks. And according to this testimony, those risks were knowingly allowed to stack up.
And the company's response to you was to threaten you?
Threaten you, sideline you, transfer you.
You raised concerns about the 787, and so they transferred you to the 7777, right?
Well, yes. Initially, they just cut me off of all the meetings. They took my name out, and then so I was just doing nothing. I wasn't informed of what. Then they transferred me, and they do it pretty stealthy. Oh, we have a job over here. We want you to go over there. So they move you down there. And, I come from like 40 years of engineering background. So when I see, and I've taken a lot of stress classes, even though I'm not a specialist on that, but when there's a problematic area that you see, you can recognize.
So I just want to make sure I got the sequence right. So you raise these concerns, you get on the 787, you get transferred over to the 777, you raise the concerns there. They ignore it in both. They haven't addressed any of these concerns. Is that your testimony?
Listen closely to what he's describing. These aren't minor production hiccups. This is force-fitting parts, misaligned structures, and temporary fixes replacing real engineering solutions. When safety problems are patched instead of solved, the danger doesn't disappear, it just gets delayed.
And right after that, he came back to my desk and he, like I said, he made the threat, and then after that, he says, "Are you in or are you out?"
Meaning what? Are you in and are you out with Boeing? I mean, are you going to be a good citizen and keep your mouth shut? Was that the implication?
That's how I can interpret that. He would walk by me and he said, "You better." Then he said, "I want you to write it in writing. Tell me, are you in or are you out?"
Put it in writing whether or not you were going to.
I'm in or out, and what that means, are you going to just shut up?
Right.
That's all.
That would be in. If you wanted to be in, you needed to be quiet. You needed to stop this. Don't say anything more. Certainly, don't tell the public.
That's how I interpreted it. But he told me to write it in writing, and I'm trying to write it. And there was 10 emails, just because I haven't received your email on this. Send it to me, and this and that.
So then he's pressuring you.
Then he's pressuring you, and then his manipulation even got further than that. I'm trying to take a class on my own time that I have to flex the time. He wouldn't let me do that. I have a doctor's appointment. He cancels my doctor appointment at the same day. Different manipulating different things to retaliate, to make your life miserable. And then, I started talking to go somewhere else. I mean, you just try to escape from that because this is hell. That I was
Yes.
subjected to. And then he threatens you with that. And really, with my background, I've had some, it's really has made me where 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm waking up with somebody stabbing me. I'm still receiving psychological help to just get back on normal.
Well, it is unbelievable to me that in the midst of this safety crisis at this corporation, that what they're doing is threatening their own engineers whose job it is to help identify potential safety concerns. And rather than saying, you know what, you've got a point, we need to maybe do something about this, they're telling you to hide it, they're reassigning you, they're threatening you, they're trying to shut you up. In the meantime, I noticed this guy, Dave Calhoun, I think he's the CEO. I guess he's leaving at the end of the year. I wonder how much he's getting paid. I bet it's a lot.
Yes, it's a lot more than my pay grade.
I bet it's a lot more than your paycheck.
Yeah.
I bet it's a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for holding this hearing. I think we're just scratching the surface here, but this is extraordinary. It's just extraordinary. Thank you.
This is the human cost of whistleblowing. While executives collect bonuses, the engineer who spoke up describes trauma, anxiety, and ongoing psychological treatment. The message is clear: raise safety concerns, and you don't just risk your career, you risk your health.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant? Yes or no? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, at this point, the question is no longer complicated. It's foundational. The senator is attempting to establish a basic scientific premise before moving forward. But instead of a clear answer, the witness repeatedly deflects, reframing a biological question as a political one.
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get
I take care
pregnant?
of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a
totally
doctor, I
agree.
think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. The United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like to me.
Biological males.
This exchange highlights the core tension of the hearing. The senator insists on a yes or no answer grounded in biology, while the witness resists that framing entirely. What's unfolding here isn't a debate over compassion. It's a dispute over whether objective scientific definitions still apply.
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push
I'm not
people-
trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men.
It also,
We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Here's why this matters. The senator connects the refusal to acknowledge biological distinctions to real-world consequences, public trust, women's health protections, and medical credibility. The argument is that if basic facts can't be affirmed, confidence in expert testimony begins to collapse. Now we want to hear from you. Who do you think made the stronger case in this hearing, and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this breakdown helped you understand what was really happening, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more in-depth courtroom and congressional breakdowns.